face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie, this ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. First off, we're going to talk about Elon Musk, apparently committed evil. This is what, of course, now they are saying, UKR is saying. We're going to pull this up right here. It said that Musk committed evil with Starlink order, says UKR official. Any chance that they get, they go after Musk. And again, this almost makes a lot of us, think like, oh, well, he's the underdog. He's getting attacked by the establishment. It makes a lot of folks think this guy could be like, the hero. Going back to what I said last week, there was actually a documentary that was 20 years old that actually described something just like this, that was loved by all and that would bring new technologies that would possibly even fix people that couldn't walk and couldn't see, and everything that basically Neuralink is promising, being that person that comes right before Jesus. So again, there's a lot of opinions about him, but again, there is something that is not debatable. The media has gone after Elon nonstop. They have attacked him left and right. If you remember before, back in the days of like when the kids were caught in the cave, and back then everybody thought he was just this awesome billionaire, just everybody thought he was cool. And then, of course, once he got kind of politically involved, or once he went for the Twitter thing, it's like everything changed. Again, I know a lot of people that absolutely are rooting for him because he is getting attacked so much. And it is weird to think about, like, if he's a truly bad guy, why are the bad guys going after him, right? Well, I'm sure it's just that all of these people have really, really their own agendas. And when you get up to that amount of money, he and probably a small group of people have their plan for Earth compared to these other people that have their plan for Earth. But either way, this whole thing with him not ordering to activate, again, they kind of misrepresented what happened. Not activating the Starlink system over UKR essentially stopped an attack against the Russian fleet. They say that if it was activated, they would have been able to take out a huge chunk of Russia's naval fleet, and then essentially Musk would have been responsible for it. In fact, he says that I would have been directly complicit, and my company, SpaceX, would have been directly complicit in a major act of war. He said that is the reason why he didn't do it. But what we think is interesting is that they are now having UKR say things about this. In this whole Gandaized current situation we're in, it was par for the course. Like, I totally saw this coming. Again, we'll talk about this and much, much more tonight. Tonight is a call-in. So not only are we going to cover all of the current events, we are also going to have you call in. I'm going to show you where we literally said what they are now quoting in major establishments and major medias. They're literally saying exactly what I said. I called it. We're going to play a clip from a previous show. We're going to show you that literally they're copying my theory in mainstream now. Microsoft is even saying that I am right. So again, I'm not saying I have a crystal ball or anything. I think it's common sense, and I think you guys will too. But also, we'll talk about the whole thing with the Genghis Khan thing and all of that, and we'll show you the clip I was talking about and the articles that were wrote now. Again, tons and tons of stuff to go over. We're going to be getting those phone lines going. Remember, the number is 2244-00-MARF. We'll be right back right after this. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough.
Looking like a Neo, black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. I look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face, looking like a Neo, black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you've never been here before, make sure to go over to the website, marfooglenews.com. You will find every single article, tweet, video, picture, document, and sources for all of our, all of the articles, tweet, video, picture, document, anything we show you here today will be available over on marfooglenews.com. Just look for today's thumbnail and then click on it, and you will get a full source list. Not only that, you have videos, you have all sorts of other things. I was going to add in the 6.8 Morocco earthquake. That will be on there by the end of the show as well, if it's not there already. And then before we get the phones open, we need to introduce my co-host / internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So I saw a comment that really bugs me. So somebody said, "Oh, well, here comes the bragging." It's not bragging to let people know. Like, you guys know this. It's not. I don't take credit like I'm some king of the information. It's when you see something that is so obvious and you see it way before mainstream, we should be calling out that this is obvious stuff. That this is stuff that, of course, they're coming through. To confirm and to get validated is absolutely something I'm going to let you guys know. Also, it shows that we are on the right path. And by we, I mean us in the community. I'm not bragging for me. I'm bragging for us. Us as a community. You have to realize all of these things that we come up with are from the Foogle fam. So when you say, "Oh, he's going to brag," yeah, we're bragging for the Foogle fam. This is literally a community. This is a group effort. So when we get something and we're validated by it, it's absolutely a win. It means that we're on the right track. It means that something is actually happening and we're on the right path to finding out what it is. I hate when people say bragging. If something happens exactly how you say it is and it's nobody calls it out, yeah, we're going to point that out because we're news. If we're calling out a pattern, and that's our whole job, is to try to predict what can happen next based on everything that's coming out as close as we can possibly, then that's our job. Think about CV. The same thing. People said the same thing when finally CV hit and before everybody knew how bad it was. I said the same thing. I said, we called that. And people get mad like, "Oh, you bragging. Oh, just because you predicted a whole pandemic." It literally changed the world. And we told people for 8 months beforehand, get yourself ready. People thanked us from all over the world. And I didn't see any emails saying, "Oh, yeah, well, it was stupid. You were bragging about it that you got that right." They show us what's going to happen next. I don't think you have to be 200 IQ to figure this out. In fact, I think you just have to be unbrainwashed to see what's happening right now. It's not bragging to show you that they are literally using independent news theories on mainstream media. I bet you that the big guys just look at our shows and figure out their content from us. And by us, I mean myself and all of my peers. If you look, there's big creators that literally will, in order, you'll look at our, people have said, "Oh, you're going to cover the same thing as this person," even though that person does the video the next day and does it in order of our web only. Like our web only on our website with all of our sources, pay attention. The shows that go over all of the news, they literally go in order of our website. So people say, "Oh, you're just copying that person." Really? How do you copy somebody a day earlier? So that's what frustrates me is the independent guys like us, we're doing all the work and the big guys just kind of pick off the top. So when we get something right, absolutely, we're going to call out that we were validated because and what's scary is that means we're on the right path to everything else. Even if it's a circus and even if they're high-fiving behind closed doors, then this is going in a really bad direction. And when I saw this 6 months ago, and yeah, I do take credit for it because nobody else was comparing this to Genghis Khan. Nobody else did the hours and hours of research into Genghis Khan and the history of China and the history of Xi and his father and all of this other stuff. I did a full on. I mean, it was like I was in high school again. I deep dived. I didn't just do research and watch a couple videos. I actually went in. I read books about it. I actually went and looked at archival footage. I went and looked at archival footage from the 80s of Xi Jinping talking. I went in and looked at all this stuff. It's all happening to what we think is going to happen. So you'll see this later. And again, I just hate when people say bragging. It's not bragging. It's validation for the little guy. And again, we are the little guy. So today, give us a call. Again, 2244-00-MARF. Again, there's a lot of you that have been here for 5 years. There's a lot of you that were prepared through CV that didn't have to wait 4 hours in a grocery line because we were telling you this is happening. And at the same time, people were going, yeah, right, it's going to be a nothing burger. Oh, we've had so many different, breakouts all over the place, SARS-1 and H1, blah, blah, blah. They never amount to anything. I knew there was something different with that by how they treated that first patient, which again, I went to that hospital personally, and I visited that first patient in the U.S. So I know that they were treating it differently, and I knew it was going to be a bunch of BS. Make sure to also go check out our friends. These are all of the mods and, of course, friends that have channels that are all great people on and off camera. That's one of the requirements. If I talk to them off camera and they're just absolute jerks, I don't put them on here. So again, and by the way, there's probably a couple I need to add on here. So don't just assume that they are jerks if they're not here, because there are some good friends of ours that we just didn't add yet. But yeah, I say that, when you meet somebody off camera and they're really, really great, all of these people off camera are the same people as on camera, especially folks like Jacob. Jacob calls and checks on my family all the time. Justin True, he's literally stayed Justin True the whole time. And then, of course, Official and Lynn Show, like all these are great people. Again, so make sure to go check them out and subscribe. Let's see here. We're going to open up the phones. So again, the number is 2244-006273. So make sure to call in right now. It's a late show, so we really need to encourage, if you're a first-time caller, call in, press option 4, and get a hold of Dex. And then we have Hurricane Lee barrels through Atlantic waters after becoming the season's first Category 5 storm. So technically, we think that it's like out of Category 4 now, that it went up to a 5 and then went back down to the 4. But what's crazy about Hurricane Lee is how fast it became something. I just talked about this like 2 days ago, and I said, a lot of the times, we said on Wednesday or Tuesday, I said that, we'll follow it as it goes. And we'll follow this and we'll update you when we can actually figure out a path. But at the time, they said it was going to be really bad. And I said, usually, if they're saying it's going to be really, really horrific, then normally it ends up being nothing. I used the example of like the Washington Armageddon, or whatever they called it, Stormageddon. I think that's what they literally called it on our local news. And there's memes to this day that said, I survived Washington Stormageddon, and it was like a plastic chair tipped over. It was like that was the extent of it. They hyped it up for a week and a half. When it got here, it was like 20-mile-an-hour winds. It was nothing. Trash cans didn't even fall over. But a lot of the times when they hype these things up, they are nothing. And then a lot of the times when they say they're nothing, they are something big. They come out of nowhere and they surprise people. With this one, it looks like it might actually be bad, but we don't know still. They say that it might even get up to New York City to New York State. So this is pretty crazy. It says, although the hurricane is incredibly powerful, its wind field is not particularly large, the NHC said. It said the hurricane was located about 500 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands, and it had winds up to 150 miles per hour and was moving west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Fluctuation in intensity is like what occurred this morning, are not uncommon in intense hurricanes. But what's so crazy about it is how far it went, or how fast it went from a Category 1 storm to a Category 5 storm in less than 24 hours. We covered this yesterday, and it wasn't even a thing. So that's what's so crazy, or the day before. I don't know if now, because it's back down to a 4. But in less than 24 hours, it went from a 1 to a 5, which is absolutely insane. If you are in the wake of this, I'm praying for you, and I hope that you have everything lined up. And again, I would hope that you already know how to deal with this, because this is hitting areas that already have. But it looks like it might hit some areas that normally don't have this kind of crazy stuff happen. So please be prepared if you're in any of these areas, and go to our website and use that to find out where the path of this is. Again, we have kind of a thing here. This is a kind of a GIF here tracking where it is, and that's why they're saying that it might actually hit New York State and up in the East Coast, up in the top of the East Coast. But yeah, it shows there a pattern, and it might actually go up here. This red highlighted area is where the direct risk lies. So please be careful all the way up here. I know I have family in the path of this. I believe this is going to hit near Rhode Island as well. So I have family there. I have family in I think 3 of these areas that are kind of in the direct impact list. So please be careful, and please be prepared. All right, Joe, that you know, thank you. Dwayne Schreibner, thank you for subscribing. AR, thank you. Love, Faith, and Hope for subscribing. Thank you for all the new people that have just joined us. James Damian Jackson, thank you for subscribing as well. Patriotic Bot, thank you for becoming a member. And Mario's Taco, thank you for subscribing. Mystery, thank you. Wages World, thank you again. Yesterday you hit 3 months as a member. And then Skyhouse, Kiki Gray, and Jammer, thank you for holding down D Live along with WizTech. Thank you, and thank you. Let's see here. So we also have, let's see. What was that? Darren, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Give us a call at 2244-006273. Thank you. Longshot air-to-air combat drone bid won by General Atomics. This is out of the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, picked General Atomics to build an air-launchable uncrewed aircraft capable of firing air-to-air missiles as part of its Longshot program. So this is, again, an air-launchable uncrewed aircraft, so a drone that's then able to then fire air-to-air missiles. So this is going to go along. This can actually pair up with jets and things like this, and it will be able to essentially be wingmen. General Atomics says it hopes to begin flight testing this drone, which could give fighters and bombers new flexibility to engage aerial threats across longer distances before the end of the year. General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, Inc. revealed that its selection as the sole awardee for the next phase of the Longshot program late this evening. The Defense, or DARPA, announced that it awarded the first round of Longshot contracts to General Atomics, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman back in 2021, but work on the project had actually begun the previous year. It begun in 2020 when we were all stuck in our houses. General Atomics was competitively awarded a contract to develop DARPA's concept for disruptive air combat operations through demonstration of an air-to-air weapons capable air vehicle. It said the concept seeks to significantly increase engagement range and mission effectiveness of the current 4th gen fighters and air-to-air missiles. So one thing that Fugglefam Military said as well, one of our buddies here says that this is because they are trying to they will be able to launch this from older jets as well. From even some of the oldest jets that we have, they will be able to actually launch this and have that be something that old jets can launch and have 5 or 6 of these things launched out and do their own damage. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they're trying to do this, and they're doing it in a hurry. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, pop into the chat, say hi, and then give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. That's, again, 2244-006273. All right, 1 second. And then we're actually probably going to skip this here. Hold on. I wanted to go back to that here. Let's see here. Sorry about that. I had to fix something there. And it says 5 things to watch as Biden travels to India for G20, Vietnam to announce partnership. It said that President JB departed for India and Vietnam Thursday on a trip that includes a group of 20 summit and is designed for the G20 summit is designed to further cement U.S. influence in Asia and counter China's rise around the world. The trip comes as Biden's re-election campaign ramps up and seeks to portray him as a strong leader on the world stage, in contrast with his predecessor, DT, Mr. Trump, the frontrunner for the GOP nomination for president. On Thursday, Biden's campaign released an advertisement that highlighted his trip to visit the war-torn UKR earlier this year and his resolve to not, quote, back down to a dictator, Russian President Vladimir Putin. His wife, Lady Jill Biden, tested positive for the CV Monday, and the president continues to test negative for the CV, and he last tested negative for it Thursday afternoon, greenlighting his overseas trip. Do you notice how they add that in there to every newspaper? They're saying, oh, well, now it's a big deal if he tests negative or positive. They're bringing it back, people, and I think people really need to understand that they have no shame, and they don't care that most people are like totally hip to it. I don't think that they are completely blind to the fact that most people do not care and that they're not tripping about it coming back. I think that they'll do it anyways. And some of us go like, why would they do something so obvious that everybody's going to go, when have they not done something that was so completely obvious that you can see right through it? You know, you're like, of course they're doing it for this reason. But they can literally physically say they're doing it for a different reason. And people go, oh, well, they said that the official reason is this, so that must be it. Because they assume that somehow they don't lie, even though they are full of agencies that are literal professional liars. Think about the CIA, FBI. Every last thing that is classified is essentially an omission from the American people. It's the difference of they lie, but they lie for your safety. The problem is not too many people trust that they're lying for our safety. They're lying to hurt us. So, again, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below or give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. Thank you, Peter S. and Linda P. and Claire LM. Thank you for supporting over on PayPal. Chris G., Frederick S., and Mary K. Mary K. says, I haven't forgotten you. Just busy making lemonade these days. God bless, and thanks for keeping me informed. VB Lisa and the Bandana Boys, my new book. That is awesome. Mary Kay, thank you for your support. And Katie N, again, thank you. Thanks for all you guys do. Always look forward to the show. Katie cleans a lot. Thank you so much, Katie. And Dean G, thanks, Adam and Dex. God bless you all. Well, thank you, and thank you. Next Exit says, I sent a video to play my video. Dex, if we can, let's see what Next Exit sent in.
I sent him an email back. I'm waiting to hear back.
Okay. And just remember, Next Exit, it does have to be an original video of yours or you have to own it. And then we're going to go over to our first caller here. Hold on. We have Mystery, aka Mystery School on the line. So Mystery, if you want to pop in. While we do that, make sure to go over and check out Energy. If you haven't seen these yet, this is our recommendation for a solar generator. These are awesome. If the power goes out, you're able to keep your lights on. It's a very easy system to use. It's expandable. You can actually stack them like Legos. And this is really cool because it is silent, meaning that nobody is going to hear that you have a generator or have power. Something that's going to be really important in any kind of SHTF situation is having, basically being a gray man, not letting people know what you have. If you have power, these are the kind of things that you'll want to keep down in a lot of these situations. Most SHTF, if everything is out, you don't want everybody knowing you have this kind of tech. If you have a gas-powered generator going outside, that's great, but you're also going to have all your neighbors knowing that you have a gas-powered generator. Again, this is also cool because you don't need gas. If SHTF happens, or even the crazy inflation that's happening right now, you don't have to worry about $5, $10, $15, $100 a gallon gas. If things hit the fan, that's what happens. We even saw it during CV where the supply chain went down. Even on the East Coast when that pipeline went down, people were basically ripping people off and selling gas for like $80 a gallon and things. And people were buying it because they needed to get to work. Go to marfugglenews.com/energy and make sure you use the code Marfoogle. Not only will you get a discount, but you will also help our channel at the same time. This is an awesome system. This is one of the best out there. They are not cheap, but that's also because these things are going to last forever. These things are built like tanks, and they are absolutely a great thing to have in any emergency, not just SHTF. They also have the new Tactical. This is the same company that's now outfitting the Army. Energy directly worked with the Air Force Research Laboratory, and they launched the Flex Tactical, and this is actually shipping out with the SBIR Phase 2 contract to the Army coming up. So again, really cool, built-in heaters, everything else, and I would definitely recommend their folding panels. So make sure to go check it out, marfugglenews.com/energy, INERGY. Mystery, you're live on Marfoogle News. What's going on?
Hey, Marf. Not much. How are you?
I'm doing good. So you wanted to talk about in Revelations.
Yeah, I was baptized Catholic 11 months after I was born. Actually, today's my birthday. I'm 48.
Happy birthday.
11 months later, thank you. And how I'm connected to Naughty Beaver, whose birthday is 8876. I was baptized on that day. And for some reason, my mom spelled my name with an I at the end, but on my baptismal record, they have it misspelled with a Y. And I've noticed throughout the whole narrative how I feel like they're playing out Revelation right now. Jacob Israel mentions it, everything, and you've even mentioned it. I even noticed when I got Baker acted a couple of years ago because I was going through some psychosis, and I was put in the hospital for a couple of days, and for some reason they didn't put me next to in the girls' unit. They put me with a group of males, and my neighbor was a Chinese man, and for some reason they put my name as My Skin, MYSKYN, and everybody else's last name was normal. So I thought that was just a little bit weird, and he was a very nice young man, just asked me a lot about what I like to eat and what I like to do, and but I found that was a little bit weird with the whole Chinese thing going on, but yeah, that's my take on it. I hope I'm not saying anything bad.
No, you're fine. And again,
cool.
Happy birthday. So, Mystery, you've been here for quite a long time, right? You've been watching for a while.
I have Naughty Beaver is actually who introduced me to you guys.
I'm sorry, say that again. Oh, Naughty Beaver.
Naughty Beaver is who introduced me like back in 2019.
That is really cool.
Yeah, sorry, I've been watching.
He just messaged or he just responded to one of my tweets. I haven't seen Naughty in a little bit, and he's really funny. Thank him again.
Yeah, he is.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So 4 years. Yeah, you've been here for a long time. Thank you for sticking around.
Mhm. Yeah, you're on my favorite channels. I try to listen to you every night. If not, I catch the replay.
So, what do you think? Did you end up seeing that the video earlier? Like, what? I guess you watched then before CV hit. Do you kind of remember that time period of like when we talked about it beforehand? It's like we saw it coming.
Yeah, I see it too. I see how it plays out with everything. It's just more and more obvious now. Now it's more blatant. Seems like more in your face.
Yes, it's like they're straight up telling us, and that's why I wanted to point out. Like you were with us. This time, do you feel like they're doing the same thing right now with what's going to happen next?
Yeah, I do. I think they always prepare us and try to condition us for what's coming. You know, it's always either some kind of test to see how we react, or it's just, I believe it's some part of some playbook that they have. I really do. It's some playbook that they have for just to see how the world goes.
Well, it certainly seems like
I think
it.
they've had it for a long, long time. What's
Sorry,
that? I'm sorry.
it's okay. I think there's a 2-second delay, so it's every time
Yeah.
we're both trying to be polite and let each other talk, and then it ends up doing the opposite. Well, Mystery,
Right.
again, thank you for calling in again, and is there anything else that you wanted to say before you go?
No, just everybody be good to each other. Try to be kind. Treat people how you want to be treated, and this world will be a lot better place. And I'm glad to actually finally start talking to you. I've always wanted to, always been too scared, and it's a great birthday present. Of finally took the courage and did it, and everybody else should do the same.
Well, I can't. I can't.
It was good to have.
Happy birthday is copyrighted, but I can do something different in the outro. But right now, just a quick happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
That rocks.
Okay, so the
That
birthday,
is so awesome.
dear Mystery School. Okay, hopefully I don't get a copyright strike for that. All right, well, thank you, Mystery.
Right, I hope not. I love you so much. You guys are so awesome. You guys have a great show, and have a great night, and be good to each other.
All right, God bless you. Have a good night. That was Mystery School. She'll be in chat. She's again 2019. That's crazy. It's almost 2024. So that's almost 5 years. That's Mystery from Florida. Give us a call right now at 2244-00-MARF. If you're like Mystery, if you're afraid to call, don't be. It's not a big deal. Give us a call. Give your opinion. What do you think is going to happen next? Well, I've thought about like doing themes to give folks something to call in about, or if it's a general theme. Well, we kind of tried it before, but then people end up calling about whatever they really want. I do believe that when we do the earlier call-ins, it's a lot better because we can get a lot more people on, but it would be cool if we had, different themed things so people would have kind of a direction to go with. Otherwise, it's kind of like they usually respond to our show. All right, and then this is nuts. So here comes the bragging. Okay. Because I think that, and by the way, I'm bragging for all of us. This kind of came from Foogle Fam and conversations with Foogle Fam and all sorts of different things, and how I got to the kind of equation that I thought that Xi was doing things that were a lot like Genghis Khan, which they're not mentioning here. But this is exactly the playbook I said. I said I can see this playbook happening before any mainstream pointed out, before Microsoft is pointing out. Now Microsoft is pointing it out. It says that Chinese operatives are using AI photos to trick American people who drop their paper in the boxes to pick their prez to turn them against each other, Microsoft says. Now, I'm going to go to the original here. That's why I couldn't find it earlier. Check this out. I'm going to play a clip here. Wait. Let's see if let me unmute this here. Let's see if, oh, what is going on here? Oh, it's muted. Sorry. The yellow brick road. Dang it. Dex, do you remember have overseas bases that they set up due to the Belt and Road Initiative, countries defaulting? So it says China said on Thursday that 90 countries have confirmed attendance for its Belt and Road Initiative conference being held in October. How are they even doing this? How are they going to pay for all of this other stuff when they're supposedly, collapsing in on themselves? It says the third Belt and Road Forum for, let me see, I think I always mess that up. Essentially what Genghis Khan did, and he made the not the yellow brick road, the Silk Road. Dex, do you remember, what is the Genghis Khan, the so many similarities of how he does things. And again, he's also studied Sun Tzu, Art of War. He has quoted it multiple times, but he has also said things about Khan. Now, Xi's father was actually treated like crap by
Genghis Khan to this day still was the only leader that took over several
Sorry
foreign
about
leaders
that. Should have got a better
are expected to attend, including Serbian president,
timestamp here.
Argentine president, and it says Russia. Dong. It's kind of like the kid that rebels. He goes the opposite way. A lot of folks actually look at Genghis Khan as kind of like this hero, kind of like a Che kind of hero, right? It's kind of, I forget what they call the evil hero, but the that kind of thing. But the Belt Road and all of these things, this is part of a domination tactic. I'm telling you, this is world domination in modern day. It's absolutely nuts. All right, and then, but yeah, it's crazy. It says several foreign leaders are expected to attend, including Serbian president, Argentine president. Let's see here.
Now, it looks like the timestamp was a little messed up here. So check this out. So he would send
Confirmed
in
attendance for its Belt and Road initiative. Really, really rough. Wages is also an awesome creator. He's about to hit.
So the let's go back to this here. Look, check this out. Microsoft warned that China has been using AI-generated images to sow discord among U.S. voters. Is that familiar at all? And this is not something that not only just last night I said, and this is such a weird theory as far as like going over all of the stuff that that the Genghis Khan thing. Because if you go to my website, you'll see the first shows I did months and months and months ago. And it's like, if it was visible back then that this is the pattern that's happening, if this is their plan, if they're doing something scripted, then that's the plan, right? It looks like it. And now it's actually coming out that this is what is happening. Now, they're specifically saying for AI images, like these memes are going to divide people and everything else. But as far as like what's happening here, it's sowing discourse, divide and conquer. This is what's happening right now. And everybody says this, and it's now become a cliche. They're like, oh yeah, they're totally dividing us. How many barbecues have you gone to or family get-togethers? Like, oh yeah, they're totally dividing us, like divide and conquer. But nobody takes it seriously. We're talking about an invasion is coming if we're not careful. If nobody wakes up, then this is actually going to happen. And by the way, they don't have to hit our shores to do extreme damage. They can knock out our grid, or they can, of course, send things over from the sea. They're making forward operating bases right now. They're spying on our military bases, and they're tracking movement of all of our military. I mean, look at right now, there's hundreds of satellites over Australia monitoring every one of our moves. They are monitoring us like Japan monitored us right before we went to war. This is something that's way above like, oh, we'll keep an eye on their tech to see where they're going. They're monitoring our actual moves. They are recording what we are doing. This is the step before war. And guess what? I won't be bragging after this happens, and I won't be bragging when World War III happens because, again, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I guarantee you things are going to get really bad, and I'm probably not going to be able to be allowed to talk. I'm telling you, they're going to clamp down on information first. And you're going to see this and you're going to go, oh man, Marf was right. Where is Marf? Oh, I can't look at Marf. I can't look at anybody right now because that's the first thing they're going to clamp down on. They're already changing rules for the CV thing, but it's only going to get worse. This is coming. And I'm confident. I was always so, I cared about what people thought about me, and I didn't want to say World War was coming, because then people would say, I'm a fear monger. I don't care anymore. This is what I'm telling friends and family. I'm telling people, you need to get ready. You need to get stuff together. And some of my friends look at me like I'm crazy. I've given up on a couple of friends. I like literally can't talk to them about any of this. And I'm sure you guys feel that way too. You have people that think it's a political thing to prep. I don't get that. You don't have to be left or right or anything to realize that something bad is happening. And you can disagree because guess what? Now they've even politicized what people believe on this. They've put out so much fake information that nobody knows what's up and down. People don't know their directions anymore. It's like they put a blindfold on all of us. They had us spin around in 8 circles and then take it off and try to hit something with a bat.
what we're trying to hit with the bat is the truth. And everybody is basically falling over, stumbling every which way because we don't know what the hell we're doing. But I know, I feel like I know what is going on. And I know that I don't know the whole details. And I'm sure I'm wrong on 50 of the, it's like one of those, like if you take a rope and it's starting to fray and there's strings hanging off it, I'm sure the rope is totally frayed and I have things that are wrong. I guarantee it. But the main thing is, I believe that China is going to try to take over #1 spot, period. That's my opinion. And if you're like, oh, that's totally wrong, that's cool. You can believe that too. I am confident in my belief, and I'm seeing this happen, just like I was confident that there was going to be a thing that was going to break out, an outbreak. I knew it. I knew it in my heart, and I told everybody I knew. And people laughed. Those same friends, though, I will say this. There's 2 of my friends that I really, really care about. They are getting prepped this time because I told them before CV, I said, this is going to get serious. They're going to start locking people down, this and that, before any news was. And that's because we were looking at the drills and the tabletop exercises and what they did in that tabletop exercise. I said, the next step is lockdown. And that's what will happen. You don't want to look at the catastrophic Kun and Tajin, because that's even worse than last time. If the real thing happens, or the real plan happens, or the thing happens, we're in trouble. Because if you look at what the changes are from the one that happened in 2019 compared to the one here, they are talking about clamping down hardcore. That's why I say I won't be around. So please be prepared. Look at what's going on. They're saying that China is trying to sow discourse. It's just odd because this came out today and yesterday. I was literally saying this, and now Microsoft is coming out the first time ever saying that they're sowing discord in the American people. How many times have I said this? I mean, you can go to that show and watch that clip again. It's there. And it's like, I don't need to do that. You guys, but that does show you we're on the right track. And that track is made by us, not me. I'm not saying I have a crystal ball or I'm a prophetic person or anything. I'm saying it's super, super obvious where this is going next. And people need to have a basic plan. Not to mention, like I said on earlier's video, China is covertly targeting and recruiting U.S. military talent to train its troops, General warns. So we've already talked about this in a way, but now this is coming out more and more. Essentially, China is there's companies offering people to train and advise and do all of this stuff. They're trying to hire U.S. vets. They're trying to hire old Air Force veterans, and they're paying just crazy, absurd amounts of money. We're talking about $200,000, $300,000 for a year of work, and I get that's not too insane here, but again, that's like they are paying huge amounts of money for short periods of time. And then they're offering them bonuses if they basically come on, be a traitor, fight for China, right? And we knew this before any mainstream, and that was because of the Fugel family military members in our audience who were being asked if they would go back. We're talking about 64-year-old, somebody who was 64, they were getting asked. There was one person who was 69 years old that was asked to train. Almost 70 years old, and they were asking and offering them money to pay for them to train people. That in that case, I doubt they would put them on the front lines, but they were offering for them to train pilots and things. So it's like, this is happening. Why would they do that? Why would they pay that extra money to what? To have them on retainer, to have them fight? This makes sense because they're trying to have these guys come over to train, and they're training people in the way of how we fight. Why would you do that? Because this is the enemy you are going to fight. If you're going to fight an enemy, it's a good thing to know how the enemy fights. So they learn all of our tricks and trades and things, and they're able to decipher some sort of method around it and teach their guys how to fight like ours. It said that they're accelerating, and again, they're making it go a lot quicker, accelerating a secret campaign to shore up the skills of its People's Liberation Army by learning from current and former U.S. troops, often by recruiting them through third-party companies offering lucrative consulting jobs, a top general warned Air Force personnel Friday.
It says Charles Q. Brown Jr., who heads the U.S. Air Force, has been nominated by President JB to lead the Joint Chiefs of Staff, warned that the increasingly common tactic in the document distributed to Air Force personnel and obtained by the Washington Post. And it said foreign companies contracted by the Chinese government are, quote, targeting and recruiting U.S. and NATO-trained military talent across specialties and career fields. It's no wonder that they're grabbing NATO as well, because this is going to be a world conflict. They are grabbing the people that are currently serving and or right out of the gate, and even way out of the gate, former veterans, and they're trying to grab them for their own army. They need pilots so badly that they're trying to offer, 60, 70-year-old men positions flying planes. I don't think that they would be flying jets, because I don't know if, can you fly a jet at 70 years old? I don't think you can. No matter how, maybe if you're really, really healthy, but you have to take a certain amount of G's, right? But I would see them having them fly like cargo planes or something like that. What other planes would be off of a carrier though? Just jets. So it seems odd to me that it is all for what? Some war that's not going to happen, or for some war 5-10 years down the road? Why are they paying them and offering them money right now? Doesn't make too much sense unless something is about to go down. All right, let's get to the phones. We've got the phones rolling here. Before we talk about North Korea, make sure to go check out EMP Shield, marfugglenews.com/EMP. Just wire this into your car in less than 10 minutes, and you can protect yourself against multiple strikes of an EMP or a Carrington-level event from the sun. Wire the green to green on your battery. The green to the ground of your frame, red to red on your battery, and black to black on your battery, and you're good to go. That's how easy it is, and then you're protected. They have protection for pretty much everything. This is the same company that's been outfitting DHS, DOD, and now the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. So make sure to go check it out, marfugglenews.com/EMP. You'll get $50 off and support our channel at the same time. Let's go to our next caller. Let's see here. Dex, it looks like you had kind of an issue with that, one of the callers. So if you want to pop in when you want, I can cover.
Adam, we've got the caller on air now. It's Dingus.
Okay, all right, perfect. Dingus, what's going on? You are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's going on?
Long time watcher. In the background, I was just wanting to introduce myself real quick. Dingus Chubb. I work at the Ford Motor Company in Kansas City assembly plant. We build the transit vans and the F-150s. I know that here soon we got a big decision coming up where there's an agreement between the company and the workers, and we may be going on an STRIKE soon, and just hoping for prayers. And
why are they?
Want to get your opinion on
the
whole thing. So
just want to catch up. So Ford manufacturing plant, and they're talking about a strike. You can say strike. I don't think that's on our thing.
Okay.
But, no, I appreciate it. Thank you for being careful. So they're talking about going on a strike, which, there's a lot of union issues right now. We're covering all sorts of different things, from TV to union transportation to logistics to all sorts of stuff. But as far as
right, and then the EVs that they're wanting to push on us, new electric vehicles.
Yeah, so what's up with that? Do you have any insider stuff on that?
Like, my theory is that JB, the head guy in charge, is wanting more people to put some stuff in a box for him during a November thing. So he's trying to probably pressure the union to, be on his side during the November stuff. by like offering some buyout type things or deals. Because I know this big EV thing is a real big agenda for him. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, that's fine. Dingus, don't worry about it so much. I think you're pretty careful. So, but as far as like the, because we also have to understand you at the same time. So as far as what with the EV thing, yeah, they just canceled like some of the last 7 oil contracts in Alaska to drill oil, out of our own stuff. It's like they're forcing over to electric, but yet our world runs on the petrodollar. How's that going to work? Like, we can't do that without a reset.
We're the petrodollar, and exactly. I don't believe that. I think there's something bigger in play. Like, they know something we don't know. They have to with this new EV stuff. I mean, there's got to be enough. We're not hitting peak oil capacity, I don't think, or like peak oil usage rather.
Now, Dingus,
they're trying to push this EV stuff on us.
People are saying that you're hard to hear because of background noise, or they think they hear a radio.
Yeah, I'm in a plant. Sorry, I'm a team lead. I'm gonna turn it down real quick.
Oh, is that like your actual?
I can't stay long. I'm actually past my break time.
Oh, is that like your actual work radio going?
Yes. Yeah, I shouldn't actually have that on air.
It's okay. You can barely.
You get the insider secret.
You could hear. You could hear mumbling. But either way, Dingus, do you think? What do you think is going to happen in the near future? Just do that real quick, and then you can come out.
Well, I believe that we will be going on strike. That's just my personal opinion. I take that from everything I see in the offices above us and what I hear. I mean, there's it's one big rumor mill that I work in, and everybody's got their own opinions. I've been here almost a decade now, and I did a decade in the Army. And
thank you for your service.
Yeah, I kind of see things from different views. See stuff. I look at everybody else's opinions, and I try to gather what I can. In fact, I was in military intelligence, so I can gather stuff like that.
Now, what do you think happens if you go on strike?
Of my unit.
How is that going to affect us if you go on strike?
It will shut down a lot of jobs. It's like, you don't realize how many other jobs support what we do, what we build. There's the seat makers, there's the fuse box makers, there's stuff that's imported from China, from Canada, from Mexico, Taiwan, Thailand. There's all kinds of stuff that all these parts, like certain parts, like the RCMs, they take chips, and the chips are made in Taiwan or other countries that we depend on just to get these things built. We got to get these parts in here, and if we shut down, then it's going to shut down all those other smaller companies, which will in turn hurt the economy. But I think that JB is probably going to step in, just like he did with the railroads, and offer some petrodollars to us so that he can push his EV thing and get the popular opinions and popular pieces of paper that get put in the box in November.
Well,
He's looking like the hero.
I don't think he'll get that, but they'll make an excuse and say that that he did when they do whatever they need to do, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, he was so popular because of this." Yeah, people love him because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get you. Well,
my union's not known for being not corrupt, known for being, the opposite. I just hope the leaders that we have in place now aren't as bad. I mean, everybody up top is all corrupt. I believe they all are. But that's who our representatives are, and they represent us and our families, and we take care of the economy. We're the blue-collar workers. I went from green-collar to blue-collar. but I'll be red, white, and blue to the day I die.
Well,
I took an oath, you know.
well, Dingus, and we thank you for taking that oath, and thank you for your service. Again, I appreciate you, and we'll let you get back to work. But will you update us? Can you at least can you call us
Yeah.
back in if the
Yeah, I'll
strike
try
does
to-
happen?
If we go on strike, then yeah, I'll definitely call in. Yes.
All right.
There's one thing else I wanted to bring up. The Bud Light controversy things. That's a union job. I mean, these are union workers. People don't realize that. Yeah, we're putting a boycott on them, but these guys also have jobs. You know, they put in a lot of hours so they can support their family. I don't know how long this boycott thing goes on, but people just need to think about that. You know, these are our brothers and sisters, our uncles, our dads, our sisters, our grandpas. You know. Anywho, yeah, I got to get back to work. Everybody, I want you to hit that like button, get a like spike going, and I appreciate your guys' time.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dingus, and I appreciate you. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. That was Dingus Chubb. One thing, though, I don't know. I guess it's insensitive to say, especially with somebody like him that works at a factory like this. I would say if you're a part of the union, I would go to your union and say, hey, you need to get us all a job at a different beer company or something. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think that it was bigger than just that beer and what they did. It's more like that was one of the few times, and who knows, that could have been manufactured. You have to realize everybody's like, yeah, we could vote with our money, but there's so many other things. I just saw somebody who does videos all the time. The Quartering, what's his face, said that he was totally cool, or he said, oh, well, you can't fight every battle. And I'm like, yeah, you can. Talking about Starfield. Starfield's this new huge game out, and it's crazy. Like, you can go to 1,000 planets in this video game, and each planet has been populated. I mean, it's definitely a step crazier than anything we've had before, because you can actually travel to a planet and actually go in and land on it, and there's stuff there. It's nuts. I mean, it's not when as kids, if you ever played video games before, it's like the bigger the open world, it was nuts. But now there's like 1,000 open worlds, and they're all populated and things, right? So it's crazy as far as games go. But and everybody's hyped it up because it is like a new step forward in technology, and it's the same company that did like Fallout Vegas or Fallout and all those things. And it on the game, the first thing it does for the character select screen is like, oh, well, you know, what's your what are your pronouns? And basically says, you know, it's not a big deal. Apparently even the people that are pro pronoun are mad at it, because once you select it, so say if you select one that goes against what, you know, you pick a male character but a female noun or whatever, it doesn't actually use it in the game. So you can tell that it's something that they literally just did to appease people that wanted that in there. They didn't want to get in trouble for not asking for it. Now companies are afraid to do it, or they're doing it out of like getting their arm torn behind them. If you know, I get that they wanted to appease people, but my point was that like somebody like that who does videos every day on this stuff, why wouldn't you hold down to it? Did 40 videos on the Bud Light stuff, but then say, well, I get it if they want it. You know, you can't fight every little thing. I guess, in my opinion, if you're going to fight for something, don't fight for it and then go, well, that one I don't care about. You kind of got to be like 100 or nothing. If and it applies to anything you believe in. I don't think. I think that the politics of this stuff needs to be. Politics needs to be taken out of toys, out of kids stuff, out of video games, out of Hollywood, out of everything. Like, go back to how it used to be. The things you wouldn't talk about in a bar were politics, and politics and something else. Forgetting the other thing. You guys fill in the blank in the chat. Why can't I remember the other thing? You didn't talk about politics or something else in the bar. I think we should go back to that.
And it didn't matter who you voted for. It didn't. It was just like, okay, oh yeah, you did? Cool. And then you moved on. All right. And then thank you. Ilea says, I have, quote, catastrophic thinking. That's why I'm a prepper. Well, I think it is a thing, too. It doesn't matter what we do. Like, this is what we think about. This is literally like what we care about. You know, most of us, this is what we do every day. If I wasn't doing this, I would be probably watching some of my peers, and I wouldn't want to be caught off by surprise on any of this stuff. And then North Korea's diesel-electric ballistic missile Frankensub emerges. Huh. That is freaky looking. That literally, I don't know if it, doesn't this top part look kind of funky? Like, I know this little part does, but look at this thing. Does that have windows in it, or what are those? Anybody that's ever been on a sub, can you tell me what the heck these parts are? Is this part submarine and part like this is above water or something? Are those portholes that you can look out of? That seems wild to me. Look at how it's not actually as big as you think it. I guess because there's soldiers standing there. That's a pretty big sub. Or is that small in comparison to some of ours? But look at how they've got their folks lined up against the water here. Like, people don't take North Korea seriously, but I think that's exactly why we should take them seriously. You don't underestimate your enemies. And with whatever shady stuff that they're doing with Russia and that whole hacking thing, something's up. Something's really weird. Yeah. But it says a very deep rework of an ancient Cold War era Romeo-class diesel-electric submarine that North Korea has Frankensteined into a conventionally powered missile submarine has been officially unveiled and launched. The ceremony, which Kim Jong-un attended, took place at Sinpo's submarine yard in North Korea's eastern shore on September 6th. The submarine is named Hiro Kim-kun Okay. Hiro Kim-kun. Okay. And carries the hull number 841. What's really freaky is I wonder what the capabilities of this thing is. And it's probably going to be low tech. But low tech, with all of our high tech stuff, they've been saying that we have gotten so high tech that they've gotten rid of a lot of the detectors and sensors that we have on stuff that will actually detect the older things. In fact, the U.S. military has been dusting off old World War II era equipment, planes, and vehicles because they're not detectable by new technology. And on top of that, there are certain things, new weapons that will not affect all of the old stuff. So I wonder what this thing can actually do. It says we first saw parts of the so-called Durhai Sinbo SSB as it was being modified on land back in 2019. The grafted-on missile compartment behind its sail gave it a bizarre look. While it wasn't perfectly clear that it was the same boat that we are seeing here, it seems likely. It says, especially considering North Korean had years to fiddle with it and make it a workable design. See, look at these pods. What if this is for nukes? They could literally pop up and launch nukes. These are the missile silo things. That's kind of a freaky thought. If they could go underwater, come out right, pop up right next to us, or close enough to strike, and then hit a major city. That could be your Pearl Harbor, even with just one missile or one hit. Pretty crazy to think about. Give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. Again, that's 2244-00-MARF. All right. And then we have North Korea hackers going after Russian targets. So this is what I was talking about on the news. And I realized I haven't talked to you guys about this yet. So North Korea is all of a sudden hacking Russian targets. Now, really think about this. We have covered a lot of stories lately about how North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and Vladimir Putin have been best buds lately. They've been meeting. They've been trading.
They are now openly trading weapons, which is against UN resolutions. It's against all of this stuff. But they don't care because they're sanctioned by everybody and they don't give a crap. And it says that North Korean hackers targeted Russian diplomats and successfully breached a Russian aerospace research institute earlier this year. So how do they know that? Microsoft over here, how does Microsoft know that North Korea ended up breaching and successful? How do they know the successful, the success level of this? Successfully breached Russia. Something doesn't sit here right. And remember, Microsoft is the same one that's been giving us news and updates about solar winds. At the same time, their founder has been meeting with Xi Jinping, going to dinner at his house, probably feeding each other with forks, cross-armed, Oh, no, you, Xi. No, you eat it. I'm not going to eat it until you eat it. No. Okay. No, you say goodbye. No, Xi, no, I'm not saying it. You say bye. Okay, I'll hang up first. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. If you didn't know, that was Bill Gates and Xi Jinping on the phone and in person, feeding each other cross-armed and slurping off of a milkshake together. One straw. Two great guys. The point is that Russia has a lot of designs that North Korea doesn't. And what do you want to bet? Just like in before, when North Korea got the super EMP weapon, what do you want to bet? That North Korea is about to get a technology that could possibly be used in a Fantastic Freddy or a single event that comes from North Korea that hits one of us, and it go, oh, we don't know how they got it. We don't know how they got this technology. Just like the super EMP, when we found out, now it is a fact, according to the DoD white papers in the Pentagon, that North Korea got their super EMP weapon from Russia. And when they asked Russia, Russia said they either stole it or we gave it to them, but they never clarified on which. So it makes sense. Watch, they say that in this hack, they got the designs or some sort of weapon technology. Then Russia can't be directly responsible because they didn't give it to them, but they essentially left the back door open so they could grab it. It's kind of like saying, oh, well, I'll just turn the blind eye while you snatch one of our weapons. What do you want to bet? That's what my bet is on this. What is your opinion? Again, North Korea basically got into some very, very crazy stuff. Why, though? How does Microsoft know this? I don't know. And then Ukraine's Zelensky says Putin took the life of mercenary boss Prigozhin. It's crazy because about a week later, after all of this is talked about, it's like then Zelensky weighs in. Zelensky actually just weighed in on Elon Musk and, all of this stuff. Or no, I think maybe it was another official that did that. But Zelensky has weighed in like a week later on something, and then it makes new headlines that essentially he goes with with whatever Ganda is happening at that point. I know a lot of people that they still don't believe that Prigozhin's even, perished. I'm surprised there's no t-shirts that say, Prigozhin didn't off himself or something. But now Zelensky is essentially saying that he believes that Vladimir Putin was behind the perishing. I guarantee you this means that a lot of people are going to say, oh, okay, so UKR or NATO did it. If he is perished, then it was probably CIA or something else. Because usually you think, oh, well, if he says this, then we probably believe the opposite. Just saying. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below or give me a call at 2244-006273. And then civil war, blood will be shed, warns former Israeli security chief. Before we talk about that, I do want to remind you, make sure to go over and check out Harvest Right. Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
Boom. Sorry, let me. Bam. There we go. Boom. Bam. There's $300 off on the Pro model if you want to freeze dry your own food. This is a really great resource. And again, this is a good way to support us. All of our affiliates and ads that we do directly support us and our battle against mainstream. So again, this reinforces the growth of our channel. At the same time, it gets you a discount, and it will get you something that can actually preserve food for a third of the cost of what you have to buy it for. This is a really, 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 really awesome thing to have in your arsenal. They're not cheap, though. This technology was even super hard to get in any kind of emergency. These things were essentially waitlisted forever during CV because you just couldn't get your hands on them. Everybody coveted the Harvest Right ones. Now, while you are able to get them, I'd highly recommend, if you have the ability and if you have if you can afford it, then go get yourself one. These are amazing tools. You can freeze dry food and then have it preserved with a ton of the flavor. Literally, it almost preserves all of the flavor for 25 years. Go to marfooglenews.com/freeze. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/freeze. All right. And Dex, if we had 2 callers drop, you can pop in if you want to just let me know what's going on over there. Are you
Hey,
screening?
Adam, I'm trying to get Cindy on the line. One second.
Okay, all right, perfect. If Cindy drops, don't worry about it. It's not the big deal. Civil war, blood will be shed, warns former Israeli security chief. It said blood will be shed in the Israeli fight for the nation's future in either a military or a judicial coup d'etat. Former Shin Bet director Ami Elon assessed on Friday morning. Dex, did you get Cindy?
Yeah, I was just letting you know she's live on the line.
Okay, Cindy, you're live. Don't worry, we'll touch back on this. Dex, Cindy, what's going on?
Howdy.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How's everybody tonight?
We're doing good. So, Cindy, you wanted to ask if people are seeing what's happening, if people are catching what they're throwing.
Yeah, well, I this has been eating at me. I mean, I know there's a lot going on around the world simultaneously, but does anybody feel as if, like I do, as if they're all going to strike at once? And we're as far as NK and South K and China and the island and even Iran and Israel. It's like everyone's going to hit at the same time, and we're scattered out all across the world, our military, and it's like I don't understand how we're going to deal with this, because I'm pretty sure they're all on the same page as far as when they're going to hit and where they're going to hit, and I feel like they're all going to do it at the same time. And then what do we do?
Well, yeah.
I mean, where do we go first? Who do we deal with first? I'm very overwhelmed with the thought of that happening, instead of
that's why
over here and then over there.
Well, when people say like, oh, well, what is it? What's it going to be? This or that or this or that? And it's like, well, it's kind of looking like everything is lining up to happen at the same time. I kind of agree with you. Like, well, I mean, that's what a world war is going to look like, is all of these other countries are all going to team up. Look at how Iran's been all of these other countries. All of these countries are lining up. Every one of our adversaries is working closely together right now. They are splitting down the middle. This is what a world war looks like before the actual hot war. It's what World War II looked like. It's what World War I looked like. And people don't see that. I think what you're seeing is the obvious kind of progression of a world war happening.
I really do. And I feel like there's no one around me that feels the way I do. And I just don't understand, if we're obligated to protect our allies, how is that supposed to go down if we've got, all of them being attacked at once? I mean, our military is so spread out as it is, spread thin. I mean, do you foresee a draft because of this?
Well, I think there will be a draft because they're already changing the lines in the draft. They're even talking about adding women to the draft. I think that it will be where, if you're 18 to 45 or 18 to 60 or something, that it might get to that point. But they also may even add women to the draft. They've put in a lot of white papers kind of in the background that make it look like they're trying to get this whole thing pumped up again. If we go to war, they're already setting up infrastructure to change over plants that are, say, doing this or that to then be working on a wartime thing. I don't know. I think that, I think that there's going to be signs before that, though. I think we're going to have something that happens like a Pearl Harbor that gets everybody up in arms. And I think they're going to manipulate everybody's emotions first.
Okay. And now Armenia is, becoming involved, and they're, that's not good. I mean, what's that provocation about? Do you know?
I don't know. I actually, the Armenia thing, that's just one more thing to add on to it. I don't think I've even heard of that one yet.
Oh yeah.
So
that's going down now.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. Everywhere is there's all sorts of events happening all at the same time, and there's too many to count. And people call it fear mongering, or that you're freaking out about it, or the sky is falling. I don't think so. I think it's like
Right.
the truth is the truth. Whether they are trying to manipulate it and turn it and take advantage of it, because they take advantage of disasters. I think that this will bring in new laws, new changes, new acts like the Patriot Act. There will be new things that change how we live, how we eat, how we travel, how we spend, how we earn. Everything is about to change. And people, the sooner that they get that through their head, the sooner that we can come up with solutions, because there is no solutions right now. None of us can figure this out on a global scale. The only people that can are probably not even supposed to be in the places that they're in. They're being shadow run by corporations.
Gosh. And I have 3 grown sons, and 2 of them, one of them gets it. My youngest one, who's 25, because he sees me, prep, and he understands what's going on. He pays attention. But my older 2 are so busy with life, they're just like oblivious to what's about to happen with the economy and everything else, with the threats. And I'm in California. I live on the coast. So I got this extra eerie feeling when people mention nuclear tsunamis. Is that like really a thing?
Well, yeah, it's a thing, but I always think of the East Coast when I think of the nuclear tsunami, but I do think of the Cascadia, and if the Cascadia triggers your San Andreas fault down there, that's something that is totally separate, and it feels like, that could happen. And think about this. If there was a planned war, if say Cascadia, if they could figure out a way to trigger that, they could do that. If they have a way to trigger it or put an explosive in the right place to make that snap, because we know it's already under pressure. There's experts out in the water right now. Chris Goldfinger's one of them. He's off on a boat probably in Oregon right now, and they say that the pressure's built up. It's a matter of time before Cascadia goes. If you are an enemy of our state, and if you did have a war planned in the next couple of years, a really convenient time would be to do that after a Cascadia event. You could take the West Coast. The West Coast is, FEMA said that West Coast, everything west of I-5 would be toast. Think about how easy that would be if you have a bunch of amphibious vehicles. Not to mention, if you're in California, I thought it was really weird that every Bang Bang owner all of their information, how many bang bangs they owned, where they live, where the weapon is listed to be at. All of those, all of that information China got. How? And they said, oh, it was an accident. It was released on accident. Think about the drone technology that they have. Something happens off the West Coast, which they're also practicing with port busting bombs. Something happens off the West Coast, or they already have the containers. They have container weapons, and they run like 80% of our freaking container
Yeah, the
ports.
right here.
They could do something from there.
Yeah.
They could launch 100 drones per container, and those drones would be targeted at specific addresses of anybody who could fight back. Or they could have our facial recognition in their systems, and people go, oh, that's just crazy. No, it's not. They have drone swarms now, and each one of these drones could pick out a profile. And who has the most profiles on everybody? They say that China has a profile on each single American person. They say that they have all of our information. They have a book on each one of us. So think about this, drones flying, thousands and thousands of drones flying. Maybe we have defenses, but if you're in Los Angeles or something or anywhere else, do you see anti-air missiles anywhere? And if there are, they're probably not, visible. Are they going to knock out 10,000 drones out of the sky? And each one of those drones has facial recognition and aims at a certain person. Bam. I mean, this sounds crazy, but this is where tech is going. This is where the next war is going. We're seeing this in UKR and Russia. They're testing out these new drones that are way more advanced than the DJI ones. They're giving them the cheap stuff. The real stuff that the U.S. military has, we're talking about facial recognition stuff. And if we have it, then China has it. China's ahead of us in AI technology and in AI and facial recognition categories. In 37 out of 44 categories, they're ahead of us. How? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I get your concern, but I guess what you need to do is just to make sure that you have yourself personally taken care of and get right with whatever spiritual kind of thing you need to do to not be stressed out about it. You still have to live your life, and you still have to, live every single day like it's,
Trying.
you're blessed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Marv, for letting me get that off my chest, because I feel like it's, it's more than one incident at a time, catastrophic, things going down at a time. And I feel like we're lying in wait, or they're lying in wait, and we're sitting ducks. I just feel it, I don't know.
Well, there's
It's a big ocean out there.
There's a lot of folks that think the opposite, that we're indestructible and untouchable. But obviously, if we're having things happen here that only happen in third world countries, well, look at what's happening with our politics. We're having things happening right now that happen in third world countries. I mean, like,
Right.
we have a banana republic. Our former president is being charged right now. They're trying to take out political opponents using the Justice Department. I mean, like, we're in trouble, people, and the sooner that people get that through their head, the better they'll be prepared.
I hear you. Okay. Well, I'm spreading the word. I'm trying. And someone typed on in your chat once, and I thought it was so cute. It said beans and rice and Jesus Christ. That pretty much nails it on the head.
By the way, Rip Curl said you are absolutely correct about your statement, and said that essentially that a lot of our ammo has been spent and it's spread out so bad. I'll have to go back. I had that comment highlighted, but it went so long that it skipped. But there was a great comment by Rip Curl, essentially saying that you were absolutely correct, and made some other. Gosh, I was trying to find it. That's okay. I'll find it and I'll read it here in a second. But he said you were absolutely right about that, and we're spread out.
We really are too thin. I mean, my son has some friends in the military that it's just it's such a big obstacle to overcome. I can't wrap my head around, you know, everything simultaneously that's going on, including the Panama Canal. You know, I just feel like China's in total control of that. But, you know, all we can, it's like, I feel like we're just waiting. You know, the waiting, the anticipation is, is, is leaves me, you know, I worry. I'm a mom. And I guess now that I'm older, I could never comprehend how dilapidated this country would become, especially growing up like you did, you know, playing until the streetlights came on type of thing. And I was a little more, well, way more protective with my kids in the 90s. But now it's just everything's out of control. Just
Yeah.
completely out of control. And I feel so bad for the first responders and the military and for all of us, you know, essentially.
Yeah,
But
we're in a different
okay,
world.
well, thank you.
And by the way, I found that comment. It says
Yeah.
you're 100% correct. They have depleted our ammo and spread out our forces, and they are in our borders. When they strike, we are in big trouble if we don't pull back and ramp up production. Thank you, Rip Curl. And thank you again for calling in, Cindy. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, you too. Cindy, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Juby Joe, thank you for the support on the news short, and thank you for the support over here. It says, we need your support. It's getting crazy. Appreciate all of this. Juby Joe, thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, thank you for supporting Independent. We appreciate that. Juby Joe and a lot of the other OG Foogle fam, thank you guys for making it to every show. Thank you guys for, again, trying to share our stuff out. Thank you for posting us all over the place. Thank you for bringing in friends to the chat. I can't say thank you enough. And then Gracie Girl, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all of the new people that just subscribed. Thank you. Cannot say thank you enough. We appreciate every person that walks in the door. So thank you. And police rushed to a report of a ritual mass, but it was just a yoga class. Yeah. It seems concerned onlooker at Lincolnshire, England took corpse pose a little too literally. This is according to Facebook post by Seascape Cafe at the Observatory, a cafe that is also community space, art gallery, and exercise studio. Police rushed to a business shortly after a yoga class wrapped Wednesday around 9:30 p.m. because a concerned passerby mistook the final resting position the entire class was participating in as a mass event. The final resting pose, also known as corpse pose or savasana, typically occurs at the end of a yoga class in which people lie on their backs with their eyes closed in order to sink into a meditative state. Well, exactly what Cindy is saying. Like, people are just paranoid now. It's like, that's the way we think. Somebody walks by and sees a bunch of people laying down, even though it's like they're probably on mats in a gym all the same way. They literally thought it was a ritual event. Like, I don't know, though, because also, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw something like that at this point. Don't know. I mean, there's so many crazy people out there now. Actually, I don't think there's more crazy people than there used to be. I think that it's just people are... The culture's different. Everything's changed. Kelly2334, thank you for the Ninja Guinea. Gonna head to bed. It's been a long day. Peace and grace to all. Have a great night. Thank you, Kelly, and I hope you stuck around long enough to hear me thank you. I appreciate that. Starbucks near me closed for 2 days. They all got the CV. Well, who knows? This one might be the real release. Who knows? Dex, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they said it was in dark. They had candles on the floor or something like that, and there was a drum beating. This person was beating a drum, sort of like a mantra type, or whatever, like for meditative purposes. But that's what the people walked by and saw, was like all these people laying down with this candles burning. So I can kind of get it, but they probably just didn't pay enough attention to realize it's just a yoga class.
Well, I could see that they probably saw it for like a brief second, then thought that, and then just started running, calling the police. Like, because I don't think you would stick around and look in the window if your brain went there first. But that guy probably felt really stupid. All right, and then yeah, just nuts. All right, Dex, let's go over a couple of the web only content here.
Yeah, there's lots going on. So for those of you that are new and haven't heard this, go to marfooglenews.com, click on the thumbnail for the show, or open up the show notes link down below in the description. This is the extra part of the show. We do it every night for you. You can find the rest of the story. You're going to scroll down till you find this yellow bar that says overflow, and here's where the rest of the news is. So in addition to the Resvani tank giveaway, make sure you enter that if you want to have a chance to win. That link is there. Just click on the image. It'll take you right through. We've got updates on what's been going on with the counter offensive, if you want to call it that. That continues to be, I guess, a contentious issue as to whether or not they're making progress. There's actually yet another visual map that sort of walks you through. If you're curious and you want to see what kind of Ganda is coming out around that, feel free. It's there. We try to cover as much of both sides and put it all there for you. Of course, there's some stuff coming from the French president related to the Olympics. That's in there. Dave Portnoy is slamming Tucker over the recent interview he did. So if you want to know what that is, go to the website and take a look. Of course, there's new stuff coming out with Tesla. There's also the FAA going after SpaceX, making 63 corrective actions now against Starship, even though SpaceX is saying they're ready to launch. Somebody from Bud Light, an ex-executive, is kind of talking specifically about why he thinks Gilly Bates's investment is probably wrong. So go look at that if you're curious. We do have the whole political spectrum here. So if you're looking for all those updates, what's going on with T-Man, what's going on with the lawsuits, what's going on here and there, even with the people that are running, it's all there. So some updates even with Masterson's trial, Danny Masterson, and the organization he belonged to, and the antithesis of that, Leah, has made her, and that's not it's just regular Leah. I'm not going to go into all the buzzwords for it, has made some statements because she likes to talk about that. So go check that out too if you're interested. And of course, we do have a link to the Morocco quake that recently happened. That's there if you're looking for that as well. So that and so much more. And then don't forget, when you get below this is where the caller's information goes. So all of it's on the website. We put it together for you every night, marfooglenews.com. Click on the thumbnail for the show or open up that show notes link down below in the description. It'll take you right here.
It's crazy. I was just trying to find the. I'm gonna put a clip on Twitter. You guys are really gonna like. So make sure to jump over and make sure to follow me over on Twitter. It's very easy to find me over there. All you have to do is do the @ sign, and then of course at Marfoogle. So again, that is at Marfoogle, and just make sure it has the check mark. This is what it looks like. I cannot change my picture. I love this picture. This is a real figure that Gem made me. Very, very, very cool. Again, that's really, really, really cool. And then I still have it right behind me. But yeah, they knew I liked the Lego. But yes, if you see this account, make sure to go and follow it. Remember that I post a lot of other stuff. A lot of my kind of personal opinions end up on Twitter. So I get a little bit more into my opinions over there than I do here. So again, make sure to jump over there and follow. All right. And there's another videos. There's more videos about the whole Hawaii thing. Just absolutely stupid. In the very beginning, too, I did not realize that they seriously did not send any alert texts. There were people that slept through the fire. Like, it just makes me so angry that they could send out an alert to every phone for a nuke, but they couldn't send an alert for a freaking fire. It's so shady. It's never, ever going to be forgiven. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody that just subscribed. A couple more people just popped in. Thank you. Appreciate that. And it is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro.
Looking a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I.
Juby Joe, thank you. You are our top supporter tonight. Thank you so much. Gen X Voice, thank you so much for your support as well. Gen X Voice says, between drugs, mental illness, and obesity, we will have enough military-age people that are capable of defending our country, question mark? And then next exit, thank you for sending us a video. Neil Nelson, thank you. The Dozebird, thank you so much for your support yesterday. Thank you this week. Dottie, Neil Nelson, Steel Hauling DC, Mimi Carstow, Soil Sista, Laguna Berry, Meat Papa 007, Julie Pilkerton. We the beat borrowed. Everybody, oh, I'll see you tomorrow. KT cleans a lot in Belinda goes. Everybody with them on busy low. Hey, I'm with the with old dude. A Bobby and the Mr. Todd Doddy. I go down with the Mr. Don Johnson and the Mr. Mon with the Cardi. Hey, I got
see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. 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 This ain't no this ain't no hero. No 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 no. This ain't no 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 no. This ain't no 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 no. This ain't no 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 no. This ain't no no no. This ain't no black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. See patient zero. Think he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie. This ain't no hero. Hey.
Juby, I said the Juby Joe. Everybody already know Juby. Let's hear it in the chat for Juby. Juby, Juby Joe. Juby, I said Juby Joe.
Look a lot like I think I see patient zero. Set the bureau. Looking like a Neo. This ain't no hero. The truth I risk, and now I did this, and now I did that, and now I see this. I say, oh Lord, all my people from Ohio. I was